Welcome to the realm of Tarvos.
Greetings all, Master Tarvos here. I want to talk about some things I think about in the Division 2. Some of these are things I have been thinking about for a while, and others are fairly new. Let's start off with the summit, my thoughts on that. First off, I rather like the mode, and I will continue to play it frequently. But the idea of making the pieces to Ridgeway's Pride random drops for each difficulty level is one of the dumbest things they've done yet. Realistically, they should have made them guaranteed drops from the bosses that come on the various save point levels. I haven't made it to the top yet, and I don't have all the pieces, so I don't know about the rest of the project. But I really think it would have made more sense than to make them random drops. The lower levels are also a bit sparsely populated for my taste, but the heroic levels seem to be well populated from what I've seen. Next we move on to progression. I don't understand why this game is set up to hinder the progression of the player, while also encouraging them to try and play at a higher level of difficulty. It seems to me if you actually wanted players to progress, then you would make it a straightforward process. An example would be to move from heroic to legendary. You should be harvesting gear that would allow you to play at the legendary level. Instead, what you get is more of the same gear you've been getting playing on heroic, which doesn't actually help you move on. So in order to progress, you have to bite the bullet, so to speak, and just jump into the next level hoping to survive long enough to get gear to make it survivable. Of course, you could always get a group together and work on getting the gear, but that's not always possible or preferable for some players. Next, I want to talk about the exotics. The developers have said the exotics are not supposed to be the strongest weapons in the game. But if they aren't, then what's the point in having them? As far as I can tell, it's just something for you to collect, like Hunter's Mask. Now, to me, this seems like a pretty dumb idea, as it would have been so easy to make them the centerpieces of powerful builds. But the devs seem to think this is a bad idea, so they limit you to one exotic weapon and one exotic gear piece at a time. Personally, I don't see where there would have been any harm in allowing more than one of each to be used at a time. But since I don't have any say in the matter, this is what we're stuck with. On top of this is the fact that most of the exotic weapons aren't even close to the top of their respective classes. As an added note, there is the fact of the signature weapons, which are also not all they're cracked up to be. If the signature weapons were actually as worthwhile as they are purported to be, then you should be able to do significant damage to enemies with them. However, as an example, I have a build based around the survivalist specialization, and supposedly my crossbow does just over 4 million points of damage. But when I use it against veteran or elite enemies, it barely makes a dent in their armor. Again, I suppose it could just be that I'm not building correctly for the various specializations, but I don't think that's it, as I've heard other people voicing similar opinions. Last but not least, let's talk about something I would like to see. As it stands right now, the only way that you can share items is if you're in a group with someone. I think this is a huge mistake, and have thought so since the first game. I would like to see either of the following possibilities. First, you'd be allowed to share any item with any other player regardless of being grouped or not. This would allow for people to freely give away items that they don't want or need anymore. One possible benefit of this would be seasoned players handing off some crap items to a lower level player who could save them or sell them to get credits to get what they need. Another possibility is that members of a clan be allowed to share items, say through the clan stash. People could put in the items that they don't want or need, or people could post requests for items on the message board. Another thing I would like to see in the game is the ability to set traps, tripwires, landmines, etc. Some might say that you could do this with shock traps and or decoys, but what I'm actually thinking is something different. This would be something you carried in your inventory and could be deployed as needed, separate from your skills, and this could give a whole new strategic twist to gameplay. So these are just some thoughts I've had about the game, and some of them aren't really completely fleshed out yet. But they're a good place to start. Feel free to post your comments on my ideas if you have other suggestions that you would like to see in another video. If you're not enjoying the game you're playing the wrong game. And as always, I have been Master Tarbos.
Did you enjoy this video? If so, then leave a comment below and click on the like button. Also, you can click on the subscribe button and click the notification bell to be advised when new videos are added to the channel. If you're not enjoying the game you're playing the wrong game. This has been the Realm of Tarbos.